Hello and welcome back to the WHL Show. My name is Hayden and I am joined with my co-hosts Tanner and Adrian. To those who are watching, I literally keep forgetting to change the intro to have the correct name on there. So, oops. But we are back. Last week, there's just been so much going on. I just started school, so our schedule may be a little bit wonky within the next few weeks just because oh my gosh, fat cat in the way. Sorry. I just started school back up again and schedule's crazy, but we appreciate everybody who's been so patient and loyal and watching with us. We are loving it. So because we did miss last week, we are going to be doing the same spiel that we do. Oh my gosh, can my large cat please get out of the way? We are going to be doing the same spiel that we do, where we will go over the week that we missed, as well as covering the week, the stats and the standings and such for the week, this current week that was released yesterday, the week of what is today, the 18th to the 17th. We're going to be starting with the players of last week. So if one of you guys want to start off with the player of the week for last week, then we'll talk about the rookie of the week and then the goalie of the week. We'll briefly cover standings. We won't go into that much detail just because we'll cover in more detail the standings for this week, and then player stats as well. And then we'll go into like further good detail for this week when we get to that. So if you guys want to start us off here with our players of the week for the week of last week.
Okay, the player of the week last week was Hunter Lang from the Saskatoon Blades. He scored 4 goals and an assist for 5 points in 2 key wins that helped the Blades secure their spot in the playoffs. He returned to the Saskatoon lineup after a 2-game absence with a game-changing 2-goal, 1-assist effort against the Prince Albert Raiders on the 7th. It helped him reach 20 goals on the season for the first time in his career. This season, he has 23 goals, including 4 game winners, 17 assists for 40 points in 57 games. 18 of the points have come since he was traded to the Blades in January, so pretty good so far.
Just a little.
Oh, yeah. The rookie of last week was Liam Ruff. It's the second time he's earned Rookie of the Week honors this season, and he had 3 goals in 2 games to help the Tigers extend their then win streak to 9 games, and they maintain their grasp on first place in the Central Division Eastern Conference. He's got 22 goals, 13 assists, 35 points in 57 games, and he sits second in goals amongst all first-year players.
Amazing. Our goalie of the week for last week was goaltender Burke Hood. This is the second time that he was named the goalie of the week in his rookie season. It's his first season in the dub. He went 2-0-0-0 on the week with a 1.00 goals against average and then a dominant .972 save percentage. The 17-year-old was named first star of the night in a 5-1 Giants win over the Kamloops Blazers on March 8th, and then turned aside 33 of 34 shots and held Kamloops scoreless on 4 power play opportunities. He is currently 17-12-6-0 with a 3.25 goals against average, a .908 save percentage, and 2 shutouts, which came in back-to-back starts in his first season in the WHL with the Vancouver Giants. He is currently, or as of last week, was tied for 5th in save percentage among all starting goalies. Woo! And now just a brief rundown. I'll go ahead and just read over this for our standings and clinching for last week, and then we'll go into actual legit detail here in the current week. So as of last week, the standings had Eastern Conference with the Medicine Hat Tigers in first with 90 points, Prince Albert Raiders in second with 74, and then the Calgary Hitmen in third with 88. The Western Conference, Everett Silvertips were in first, still are, with 94. The Prince George Cougars with 82 were in second. And then in third place last week were the Spokane Chiefs with 88. So that's what that looked like for last week. We're going to go over clinching at the bottom or at the end of the document here, at the end of our little spiel. And then as of player stats, I'll go ahead and do a quick rundown of this as well, and then I'll hand the mic back over, as it were, to talk about stuff this week. So player stats, in terms of last week for points, in first, it was Andrew Crystal, second, Gavin McKenna, third, Berkeley Catton. I'll read off the numbers too. So, and Crystal had 121 points, McKenna 110, and then Catton had 105. And our goals leader as of last week, Shea Van Olm with 48, Andrew Crystal with 44, and then Taden Trembecki with 42. And then assists leaders were Andrew Crystal with 77, Gavin McKenna also had 77, and then Tyson Jugnoth of the Portland Winterhawks with 70. In terms of goalies, their stats for and leaders for last week, the goals against average was Raiden Legal of the Everett Silvertips with a 2.15, Daniel Hauser with a 2.56, and then Harrison Minigan, who also had a 2.56. Save percentage, Raiden Legal led again in first with a 0.919, Max Hildebrand with a 0.916 was in second, Daniel Hauser in third with 0.913. And then wins, Dawson Cowan with 33, Joshua Ravensbergen with 32, and then Max Hildebrand with 29. And then some news that we had from last week, just a couple headlines that we'll read off for you. The Spokane Chiefs forward, Andrew Crystal, became the first WHL player of the 21st century to score 400 points, which is crazy. Like the first in this century. What do you like in the 21st century? Obviously, it's not. But like, wow. And then we won't go into unless we want to. Do we want to talk about Canada West?
We kind of did last week. We kind of like listed the ones who were there and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right. We super did. Yeah, if you want to hear more about Canada West, feel free to tune it to go back to our episode last episode. We went into more detail there. But 29 WHL alumni had a great time in the 2025 Canada West Championship. The Saskatchewan Huskies. I always find it really cool seeing how many W alumni make up U Sports. It's like almost all of them on the entire league. But yeah, so now that we did a super fast rundown over what last week looked like, we can give you guys an actual catch up over what this week looks like. So Tan, who is our player of the week for this week?
The player of the week this week is Gavin McKenna. I think this is his third player of the week, and he's also had 2 player of the month. I think, par for the course. But he led all WHL players this week with 4 goals and 7 assists for 11 points in 2 games, while continuing his record-breaking point streak, or kind of, I guess not record-breaking. After putting up a goal and 3 assists in their overtime win against the Hurricanes, he followed it up with a career-best 7-point night against the Rebels with 3 goals and 4 assists. He's reached historic ground with a 38-game point streak, of which he has 28 goals and 64 assists in those 38 games, and it dates back to November 6th of 2024. It's the longest point streak in modern WHL history, surpassing Bedard and Stankoven's 35-game runs in the 23-24 season. But anyways, and McKenna also surpassed Sidney Crosby's 37-game streak from 2004-2005 to take sole possession of the second longest point streak in the history of the CHL in the 21st century. So that's kind of crazy. Wow.
I didn't realize he had I knew that, but just looking at the numbers, it's crazy.
Yeah, right?
Only looking at 64 assists in 38 games is wild, and then taking into consideration that he's also had 28 goals on top of that is crazy. Wait, I want to do the math really quick. So it was I want to know his point average in a game. I'm not that quick. So 28 plus what was it? 64?
64.
Oh my gosh. Sorry for the noise. Cats are being cats. Then how many games? 38? Okay. Goodness. This is important to me. Okay, so 2.42-ish goal or point per game average, which is crazy, especially with that one 7-point night against the Rebels. That 3. can y'all know that 3 goals and 4 assists? I need to get like a studio set up instead of just my cats are just they're the stars of the show here. Every time. But yeah, so the high scoring player, incredibly talented. The fact that he's breaking all of these records is just insane. Like looking at these, like really, really talented legendary names, like we have Crosby and I know said McKenna. I mean, yeah, he's there already. Kelvin Bedard, like they were, prominent players in the CHL and the WHL. And like that's just crazy. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna throw something at my cat with love. He's like pawing at a box. Oh my goodness. You're not.
If you want Rookie of the Week, he can read Rookie of the Week if he wants.
If you want to read, let us know who the Rookie of the Week is, and then I'm gonna go fist fight my cat really quick. That's a joke.
All right. Rookie of the Week is Cooper Williams of Saskatoon Blades. He led all first-year dub players with 3 goals and 4 assists for 7 points and a +6 in 4 games. He's got 20 goals and 35 assists for 55 points in 65 games. And he sits second in points on the Blades and is third among all dub rookies. And nationally, he's 5th among all Canadian Hockey League rookies in points. He's really fun to watch. He's always he's really good.
Amazing. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I like that's not even in the dub, that's in the CHL. Like, holy 55 points in 65 games. As a rookie. Amazing.
Is he the youngest on the team?
No, I think is he
Cooper's the youngest.
He might be the youngest on the team, I think.
For our goalie of the week this week, it is Evan Gardner, who is also a Saskatoon Blade, the Columbus Blue Jackets prospect, and recently signed today. He led all of the WHL goalies with a 3.000 record, a 1.00 goals against average, a .964 save percentage, and back-to-back shutouts to keep pace in the East Division playoff race. Absolutely just killing it, carrying the team on his back. He kicked off the week with a 28 save performance as the Blades doubled up the rival Regina Pats 6-3 on March 11th. His top game of the week, his top performance, came in a 3-0 shutout of the Swift Current Broncos on the road. He stopped all 29 shots. He followed that game with a 4-0 shutout against the Regina Pats at home. And as I briefly mentioned there, he signed his entry-level contract with the Columbus Blue Jackets today. Was it today or was it yesterday? Today? It was this morning? I'm losing track of time. These are all stringing together. But yeah, I'm so proud of him. He has been working his butt off, and it's coming into fruition. I'm really excited to see what he does in the Blue Jackets system and everything he does there. And I'm excited to see how playoffs go with him in that. And he has like a solid tandem too. So I'm excited to see how they do. I was gonna say he's stepping it up, but he's honestly been killing it this whole year. Like there's been a lot that he's been doing for like team and just his development. He's been working really hard, and even as somebody who doesn't know him personally, and like am not seeing all the behind the scenes, like the behind the scenes work is showing. Nice, and it's a lot, and it's really good. If you guys want to run us through our standings and the recap of what last week looked like for those teams, and then I'll go over the Western division there.
Yeah. Okay, so first place in the East is unchanged. It's the Medicine Hat Tigers, who their record's now 45-17, 3-1 for a total of 94 points. And their last 2 games were on the 14th. They won 6-5 versus Lethbridge. I think that was the game where they were down like something, and something until the third period. They scored like all of their goals in the third.
5 unanswered.
Yeah.
Something like that. And
then so that was the overtime win. And then on the 15th, they won 7-3 versus Red Deer. That was the game where McKenna got his 7 points alone.
There's 7 goals and McKenna had 7 points. Like that's just
Right? So crazy. In second is the Brandon Wheat Kings with a 36-22, 4-3 for 79 points. Their last 2 games were on the 14th and 15th, and it was a 4-1 win versus Moose Jaw, and then a 5-1 win versus Moose Jaw.
Heck yeah.
Then third is the Calgary Hitmen, and they're 43-16, 3-3 for the 92 points. But I feel like every week we're like, oh, it's because they're
Yeah.
But on the 15th they won 3-1 versus Lethbridge, and then on the 16th they had an 8-4 loss versus Edmonton. So
8-4 loss. That's wild. Goodness. For our Western conference here, the Everett Silvertips are still in first. They have a 46-12, 4-4 record and have 100 points. They've hit the triple digits here, and have won the Scotty Munro. On the 14th last week, they had a 5-3 win over the Portland Winterhawks. And then on the 16th, 2 days later, they had a 2-1 win over the Spokane Chiefs. In second place are the Prince George Cougars with a 40-20, 4-2 record and 86 points. They also had a pair of wins last week, one on the 14th with a 4-2 win over the Wenatchee Wild. And then on the 15th, the next day, also against the Wenatchee Wild, it was a 5-3 win. For the third place, it is the Spokane Chiefs with 90 points. They have a 44-21-1 record. They had a 5-1 win over the Tri-City Americans on the 15th. And then a day later, on the 16th, they had a 2-1 loss versus the Everett Silvertips, which was as you can tell, a pretty close game. So they also had a good week despite having a loss in there. And it was against Everett, which is the top team in the league right now. So to keep it that close is really good. Again, they have a really solid line. And I say this every episode, but I'm really excited to see how the Chiefs do in playoffs. They're a team that I feel like they're getting a good amount of attention, but I feel like they should get more. They're a really cool team, and I enjoy watching them. In terms of who has clinched playoffs since the last episode that we recorded, we have a lot more teams here. So Portland has clinched playoffs, yay. The Prince Albert Raiders, Vancouver, Saskatoon Blades, Brandon Oil Kings, Brandon Oil Oil Kings, and then Swift Current. And yeah, so we have a lot more playoffs, or a lot more teams who are going to playoffs. I still don't quite understand clinching scenarios, nor how one is like how a team would be eliminated from contention. But I know that I think it was Regan who pointed out that the Wild have been eliminated from contention of playoffs. So I know the Wild aren't going to make it.
People could make it, I think,
tonight if Kamloops loses, I think, in the scenario.
I think there's one spot left, and it looks like Seattle's probably going to get it.
Yeah.
If tonight goes their way, at least they should be taking the last spot.
Heard. Gotcha. That makes sense. So that we have that. I'm again just really excited for the possible pairings that we're going to see for both the East and the West. I think it's exciting. And then now that we've gone over standings, let's talk about our player stats for this week, and we'll do we'll chat a bit about those instead of just running through like a speed run last week. So Tanner, off with points.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
That's shot up in points. Wow. Okay. So first place still is Andrew Crystal, but he now has 126 points compared to his 121. And then kind of crazy one, Gavin McKenna in second, where last week he had 110 points, and this week he has 121. So that's like 11 points in the week.
I do think a 7-point game will do that.
Yeah, it sure would. I just put 10. Third place is who had 105 last week, and I want to say it's 108 now, but apparently I accidentally erased the third number on it. but I think it was 108, maybe.
Makes sense. And then for our goal leaders, it's Shea Van Olm from Spokane with 48, and he had 48 last week, so that has stayed the same. Second is Andrew Crystal, also Spokane with 47. Last week he had 44. And then it is, still Caden Trembecki from Victoria with 44, and last week he had 42. You want to roll through these things? I think there's still a train rolling through the.
Gavin McKenna is in first place for assists with 84 assists compared to his 77. Crystal is second with 79, who also last week had 77. And then Tyson Jugnoth from Portland, I think that's all the same from last week.
Yeah.
He has 75, and he had 70 last week.
Yeah, that train was so long. Oh my goodness, it wouldn't stop. I was like, Lord. Oh my gosh. And for our goalies, my favorite part, our goals against average. These also look very similar to last week. We have, hold on, let me make sure that we didn't I want to make sure it looks right. 34. Yeah, okay, we're good. So yeah, last week or this week in first again is Raiden Legal of the Everett Silvertips. He had a 2.18 goals against average. Second place was Daniel Hauser of the Calgary Hitmen with a 2.60 goals against average. And then in third place, who has been in the standings here for a while, you kind of can always see his name. It's Austin Cowan of the Spokane Chiefs with 2.61. Save percentage, again, similar names to last week. I think we only have one difference. Only one difference. So in first place, two. I can read. In first place, sorry, we have for save percentage is Raiden Legal of the Silvertips, again with a 0.919. Max Hildebrand is second of the Prince Albert Raiders. He is second with a 0.917. And then in third is Carson Bjarnason of the Brandon Wheat Kings with a 0.913. And then our goalie wins. Adrian, if you want to go over those.
Yeah, so our wins in first place is Dawson Cowan with 34. He had 33. And second place is Joshua Ravensbergen with 33. He had 32 last week. And third place is Max Hildebrand with 30. He had 29 last week. It seems like they've all gone up by one, but they're in the same spots.
Nice. Love it. Easy peasy. We don't have a Q&A section this week. That is something that we will hopefully bring back next week. There is again, like I said, we have, I just started school back up again this week, and there's just a lot of life stuff happening. But even when life is crazy and busy, we still want to at least give you guys a little bit of like the,
rundown.
Yeah. A good rundown, just help you guys, help everybody, and honestly ourselves, and just everybody staying updated with what's going on, especially as we're getting close to playoffs. And it's always fun to sit down and chat with my friends and have everybody, thank you so much to everybody who's listening and watching. We're about to head out. This is a shorter episode, but we do sincerely appreciate everybody's understanding and flexibility as we are figuring things out. This summer, again, I think I mentioned this last episode, we're still figuring out what we're going to be doing this summer, because there's not going to be there's not going to be stats to cover in the offseason. So playoffs are going to be really fun to talk about. We're going to have a lot of content there, a lot to go over and a lot to chat about. But we either will take a hiatus over the off season, we'll have our own little off season, or if anybody has any ideas of what content you want to see over the summer relating to the WHL, please feel free to reach out and give us some ideas. We are open to pretty much anything at this point. My cats are not fighting. Love it here. So on that lovely note, Thank you so much to everybody who did tune in this week, and just make sure that you're paying attention. You're following us on all the social medias, so you can see, you don't ever miss an episode. You can see when we go live, and also keep an eye out for any Q&As, because last time that we did it, it was really fun, and I really enjoyed it. So we will probably do one next week. I just didn't think about it in time for this week. So we'll do that next week. So yeah, make sure you follow all the things. Thank you so much to everybody again, and make sure you tune in next week.